Boys, for the past year-ish now, it's been Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Non-stop, Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. For the past year, it has been getting worse to the lead-up of UFC 309, and now that 309 is finished, it's just going to keep ramping up. If Jon Jones does retire, it'll be nothing but he ducked Tom Aspinall. And the line where Tom Aspinall said that he will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him might go down as one of the best lines in UFC history, to be honest. But with all that being said, I have some reasons here. I have 5 reasons on why Jon Jones should and should not fight Tom Aspinall. Now, let's start with, let's go with should. Should was so much easier. There were so many upsides for Jon Jones and there were downsides. I was struggling trying to find some downsides for Jon Jones to not fight Tom Aspinall. But that being said, the first thing, easiest thing here, the most common sense wise, the money he will make from Tom Aspinall. It's not, not out of the realms of possibility that this dude makes 25 plus million fighting Tom Aspinall, including pay-per-view bonus, including, those legendary locker room bonuses. It's not really outside the realm of impossibility for that fight to generate that much money. Jon Jones probably will get maybe 20 million to fight him, an extra 5 million pay-per-view, something along those lines, with the pay-per-views and the locker room bonus, an extra 5 million. For the Stipe fight, I think he probably made around 10 to 13 million for that fight, including pay-per-view, including all the extra bonuses. So an extra 10-ish million. Get those Saudis involved, get that oil money involved. The 25 million, it shouldn't be that hard to get the money for Jon Jones to fight Tom Aspinall. It should be one of the easier things to do now that we are, now that the UFC is partnered with the Saudi Arabias, now that we have all these guys helping out fundraise UFC Noche. If you guys don't remember, the Sphere card did have some help. It was UFC Noche, the Saudi Arabia or something like that. The Saudis will help us get the money to give to Jon Jones. That's not the problem. And like I said, one of the reasons why he should fight Tom Aspinall, 25 million plus, easily in my opinion. He was talking previous about how he wants the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson type of money. I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson made 20 million to fight Jake Paul. So roughly the same amount. I think this should be the easiest thing to get done in negotiations. Let's keep moving down. The legacy. The second thing of why Jon Jones should fight Tom Aspinall. The legacy. People, realistically right now, they're coming close to passing Jon Jones. You're telling me if Pereira moves up and becomes a triple champ, whether that's beating Tom Aspinall or whoever, he isn't the GOAT? People are already saying people like Islam Makhachev, he's a few wins away from being the GOAT. Realistically, Jon Jones, his legacy, yes, it's cemented in the UFC, but it's just about the timing, whether we see another GOAT. There's already conversations being made. You take into consideration the PED cheat part of Jon Jones. People don't have Jon Jones as their GOAT list because of the PEDs. And I'm telling you right now, if Jon Jones goes out there and fights and beats Tom Aspinall, it'll be very hard not to consider him the GOAT for a very, very long time. Like I said, people are already realistically passing up Jon Jones or getting close to passing up Jon Jones. We look at his resume, got exposed recently as not being that great. Yes, he beat tons of former and future champions, but at the end of the day, resume, he was fighting fat light heavyweights that should have been middleweights. But if he goes out here, no, he just beat Stipe, the greatest heavyweight to do it. That adds a little bit to his legacy, but like I said, he was 41 years old, Stipe. If he goes out here and beats a prime Tom Aspinall, that will cement him in a lot. I would say 99% of MMA fans that he is the GOAT regardless, and I don't think that shit would be beaten for, I don't know if that ever gets beaten, to be honest. But let's keep moving down. Third thing is very close to the 25 million money wise. This will be the biggest, Dana has already said this, the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history by a mile. I'm sure the UFC has already saw the interest in this fight. Everybody, this whole build up to UFC 309, everyone was counting out Stipe. the amount of Tom Aspinall support, I would love to know what the data look like for the amount of just interactions for the name Tom Aspinall during the week of UFC 309. Probably insane. I guarantee the biggest UFC fight in heavyweight history. And not just that, if it's promoted right, if we have some, face-to-face moments, if they promote this shit right, it could be easily top 5 pay-per-view draws ever, which is crazy to say because I don't think we've broken a pay-per-view in years in the top 5 at least. Let's go down. First one on the list, of course, the biggest one in UFC history, hasn't been beaten yet. UFC 229, McGregor versus Khabib, 2.4 million buys. The second one on that list, McGregor Poirier 3. I think that was the latest one to get into the top 5. 1.8 million pay-per-views. Then UFC 202, McGregor Diaz 2. 1.65 million pay-per-views. Then when we get into the top 4, top 5 is very doable for this Tom Aspinall John Jones fight. The fourth one on this list, 257, McGregor versus Poirier number 2. 1.6 million. Then the number 5 one, again, the Brock Lesnar one. This one could easily be beaten. UFC 100, 1.6 million pay-per-views. Lesnar versus Mir 2. You're telling me that promoted this shit properly doesn't get at least around that 1.7, maybe 1.65 area? You're telling me it doesn't make that much? I think it easily does. Again, if it's promoted right. And I think the UFC is not dumb enough, to promote it properly. The MMA community in the UFC have already given the UFC countless ideas on how they could promote their shit better. I even made a video on how they can promote this better. I made this video months ago before the whole topic was really brought up big by the bigger MMA creators. But the face-to-face, they just need more promotion, more hyped up. The fact that they're letting boxing, out promote them is a terrible look. Take some pages out of boxing, do some boxing, promotion. I guarantee this shit would easily be top 5 pay-per-view draws ever in UFC. Let's go down to the fifth and final thing on why John Jones should fight Tom Aspinall. The last thing, this one's so easy, it would just shut up the fans. Right now, if he retires now, let's be realistic, he will retire ducking the best heavyweight in the UFC right now, and he'll just go down as the guy who refused to fight the best. And I know he's taking this, I'm a duck thing as a joke. If that's how you want to be remembered, the MMA mind, the MMA fan base mind is very, what have you done to me lately type of thing. So if he goes out here like this, where everyone wants him to fight one guy and he doesn't fight him, that's how he will be remembered. So that's why he should fight Tom Aspinall. Shut up the fans, show him who he is. Let's run down to why he shouldn't fight Tom Aspinall. Number 1, the biggest reason, this is my own personal belief and a lot of people's belief, that Tom Aspinall does not just beat John Jones, he finishes John Jones. And I think it's going to be KO TKO. There's a possibility he submits John Jones, but we just don't know his level of ground game. But can he catch John Jones on the feet? 100%. So that's the biggest reason why I think he shouldn't fight Tom Aspinall, because again, he doesn't just lose to Tom Aspinall, he gets knocked out by Tom Aspinall. The second thing on this list, he does lose quite a bit of GOAT points, the PED cheat. And now that he got finished, yes, it was at the later half of his career against a way bigger guy, a way younger guy. Doesn't matter, in my opinion at least. If he does lose, he loses a lot of GOAT points, and I think he automatically is no longer the GOAT. And it's so hard keeping him the GOAT because I have the PED cheat. I have that reigning very, very heavily. If he loses, I think GSP's the GOAT after that. But if he wins, I don't think there's anyone that ever comes by and does what John Jones does, PEDs or not. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, if he loses, he is at the end of his career, it shouldn't matter too much. But the MMA community is very retarded at points. At points where TJ Dillashaw, fuck you. You took PEDs. You admitted to taking the PEDs. Go fuck yourself. Your legacy down the drain. We have John Jones, a known PED cheat. That boy just gaslights everyone and saying, I didn't take that shit. That was in my boner pills. I didn't take that knowingly. bullshit, but yet he's still the GOAT. Dumb shit like that. Silva as well, Anderson Silva, same thing as well. Countless other guys. We just don't keep the same energy to different fighters. You know, John Jones can do it. TJ Dillashaw, go fuck yourself. You know, it's stupid. That's why I have the PED cheat very highly. And if he loses, sucks to suck. I don't think he's a GOAT anymore. Let's go down to the third thing. Yes, he is the GOAT right now in a lot of people's eyes. If he retires today, there will be conversations in the future of who the GOAT is now, regardless of what anyone does. You know, Alex Pereira could go out there and get a third title, a third belt in a different division. They would still be conversations that John Jones is still the GOAT. So that's one reason why John shouldn't fight him. You know, he doesn't need to prove much more if he wants to just stay as GOAT. You know, yes, I did say people will be passing him shortly. There's already conversations, but again, there's conversations about that. There's still also conversations saying that regardless, John Jones will still be the GOAT. So yes, John Jones could just duck Tom Aspinall. In a lot of people's eyes, they would still consider him the GOAT, regardless of what any UFC fighter does. You know, we could have Tapoya go out here, beat Volkanovski the second time, beat Diego Lopez, go up, knock out Islam Makhachev, defend the 155 belt 2 times, go up, beat the 170-pound division guy, and, you know, there would still be conversations of who's the GOAT between him and John Jones, you know. Let's go down to the fourth thing, though. You know, the fourth thing is like a contradiction of the first thing I put on why he shouldn't fight Tom Aspinall right now, because he does not need the money. Yes, you know, money is nice to have, especially when you're getting an extra 25 million, but this boy has made tens of millions of dollars throughout his entire career. Yes, the 25 million would be nice, but it's not like he needs that money. So if he's fighting just for the money, he doesn't need the money. He's made plenty of money where he doesn't need it. Yes, it would be nice to have that type of money, but he does not need it. Let's go down to the last thing. He looked old and slow at UFC 309. You know, the biggest thing while watching John Jones versus Stipe is how slow both of them looked. And it's like, if either of those guys, Stipe or John, fought Tom Aspinall that night, it would be like watching a heavyweight versus a flyweight speed wise. They just look so slow. Tom Aspinall is way too fast, and you know, John is also 37 years old. 37 might not be the oldest person in the UFC. You know, you can still do very well at 37, but he might be 38 when he fights Tom. And it's not just he's a 37-year-old guy. He's a 37-year-old UFC fighter who has been fighting since 2008. He has a lot of wear on those tires. It's not like he's a fresh guy. It's not like he just started MMA a few years ago. He's been in here since 2008, so lots of wear on those tires. And yeah, you know, Father Time catches everyone. And yeah, those are the 5 things on why I think John Jones should and should not fight Tom Aspinall. Let me know in the comments below. What would you add in the should and shouldn't section? Also, let me know, who do you think wins between John Jones and Tom Aspinall? Again, I think Tom gets it done. You know, Tommy Boy gets it done. The only route to success where I think John Jones could get it done is the ground game. But at the same time, I feel like Tom is just too fast, explosive, and strong to just be held down on the ground by John Jones. I could be wrong. You know, that's the beauty of this fight. That's why I think this fight would be top 5 pay-per-views all time. And yeah, also let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these takes I have, because I would be very surprised if anyone disagrees with any of these takes, to be honest. But that being said, guys, quickly look at this shit real quick, because 99% of you guys are watching this shit for free. Stop being a hoe about it. Help your boy out. Get to 1,000 subscribers. We're so close. We're probably around like 60-ish away. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And yeah, there's not much else left to say except for I will see you guys in my next video.